Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are looking at the newest BLON, where they've actually corrected the front. Kind of makes me sad because I like the old way. I believe let music burn, which is the same because it's all one word. Opportunity instead of a party. Never give up. Annotations, music, and dreams. I miss my dreams. I had a lot of dreams and I gave them up. Here we have the classic canvas BLON bag that we've grown to expect. It's a decent bag too. It's got some decent thickness to it. Of course, these BLON tips, which are absolute garbage, at least to me they are. They suck. I don't like them. Get them away from me. Keep them in the pouch where they're safe before they hurt me. No, I really don't like the BLON the tips at all. I don't know. Maybe it's the way they fit in my ear. They always sound like they just like rob it for me. This is my personal experience. They rob it of like bass. It's just like this transistor radio sounding kind of thing, and I honestly don't like it at all. See if we can get my camera to focus in on this and not the background. I'll just take that package and put that off to the side there. So I put tantrum tips on this. I'm going to try like a bunch of other tips now, maybe for like a follow-up or something like that, or if I find anything incredible. But this has some really good bass overall. I'm going to say that this has a good balance to it, but there's really good emphasis on the bass. Gives it a nice warm tonality overall. And just really in general, this is a really good kind of everyday, all-around kind of daily driver. I am from BLON. If I was going to say cons, I would say that it is because it does not have a removable cable. That's probably the biggest thing with this, because it would have been perfect if I could just switch the cables out. Tried different cables on it and everything. I love to do that. But it still sounds good with the stock cable. The stock cable is not too bad either. It's a decent thickness. It's got metal fittings at the end, so that's, better, or at least, I mean, it feels cold, so I'm assuming it's metal. Maybe it ain't. Gold plated there. Nice little separator right here. It feels cold, so I don't know. It could be plastic, actually, this one. Yeah, they might be plastic, to be honest. It's tough to tell sometimes, especially with the coatings they put on things. But overall, decent. It doesn't seem to tangle as much as a lot of other ones. Who was the one that there was just one that just came out. There was a tangling like crazy. So it's decent overall for stock cable. I don't like the tips, and I don't like the non-removability of the cable. I do like the shape. I found it very comfortable. It's very flat, kind of. Can fit in your ear. Be good for sleeping. I do like the look of it. I do like that little logo of the moon there, shining, ready to go to sleep with a little cap. And I do like the sound of this. This has a carbon driver in it. There's a 3rd generation carbon driver in it. We have an impedance of 32 ohms. We have 102 decibels. It's 20 to 20 kilohertz frequency response. 1.2 meter cable length, which is 99% of every cable I've ever said has 1.2 meters. There are a few exceptions. 3.5 millimeter straight plug. And of course that carbon diaphragm dynamic driver with... There was some other things in the notes here about it. Let's see if I can get to that graphic that explains. Ultra thin carbon diaphragm. It's a 10 millimeter. Has delicate audio performance. That's just advertisement. I'm not going to read that out. The dual tone cavity. This is a zinc shell, by the way. The dual tone cavity, it says, is made of zinc. It has a Chulier tuning cloth on it. Says which can realize more accurate adjustment of the target zone. This does have like more kind of detail-y more better technicalities. I mean, obviously it's not up to par with some of the newer ones that I just did that are much higher in price. But in this price point, you're getting a decent response. You're getting decent kind of details, and that I would think that this does a little bit better job than some of the other BLONs, including the 03 and the 07. There's definitely better bass here than the 07s, and the better technicalities overall than the 03 with this. You get some really good vocals. There's a warmth to them, of course, because it's bleeding from the mid bass into them. But overall, they're clear. They sound really good. They have kind of a rich sound to them. They do suffer a little bit of recession, but the vocals are forward. It's typical. It's a V-shaped kind of signature. Getting into the highs. The highs have a decent amount of airiness to them. They have a decent amount of detail. They don't overdo it in the highs, though. I didn't find them harsh at all. There wasn't any shoutiness in between the mids and the highs. But overall, it did a very decent job. It was extremely pleasant sounding. The only con probably there is the bass is a little more powerful than some people probably would want, but that can easily be fixed by the tips. I wish that I could say it could be fixed by the cable, but of course, you're stuck with this cable. That said, this is good. It is a good overall. It's got a nice comfort to it. There's a decent amount of isolation. It fits in ears. It should fit in most ears perfectly. You could even use this for sleeping. Maybe they meant that because that's maybe why they put the moon there or something. I don't know. A lot of people are starting to make things for just specifically sleeping. And that's, a lot of us like to take a nap or go on the bed or something at night and put the earphones in and listen to some tunes while we fall asleep. And that's really great that they're doing things like that, and they have ones out that are specifically made for that. I don't know what this is specifically made for, but it is a good all-arounder. I mean, this can be your daily driver, no problem. It's very good for almost every type of music, although I wouldn't recommend it on, classical music or something like that. But bass-driven music and electronic music, pop, K-pop, even jazz sounds really good on these. They're decent. I'm going to keep these out from my daily driver, like just grab and go like a backup pair or something when I take wireless. And that's what they're good for. These aren't priced a lot of money, and these actually do a decent job overall. If you want something that's really fun sounding, they're not overly analytical sounding, but they are fun sounding for the most part. They have some decent details, decent technicalities, excellent bass, very good mids and treble response. I think you could do a lot worse than getting something like this. So the Z200 is a bit different than some of the other BLONs, but it is still, a BLON, and it is a decent value as BLONs go, because, all BLONs present a decent value for the most part. I really didn't like the regular 05, but the 05S was fantastic. The only thing that ever held the 05S back was that 1950s blue color, that bluish green color that a lot of people didn't like, but I honestly didn't mind it. I like when earphones come in like funky colors, yellow, pink, you name it. I'm happy with them. As long as they sound good, and they look decent enough, I'm not worried about the color of them. I would wear pink ones if they sounded really good, to be quite honest. So this has been the BLON Z200. This is a decent, fun-sounding, all-around kind of everyday daily driver type of earphone for people on a budget, definitely. I like these. They do a good job. They may not be my most favorite, but they definitely do a good job. So thank you so much for watching, and please be safe, and I'll see you somewhere on the internet. Thank you.